There's been a rumor going around over the past few days that Terence Crawford will be fighting an Al Haymon fighter in his next fight. And the latest on that is, and again, this is just a rumor, that it could actually be John Molina. Now, Terence Crawford is coming off a very good and impressive win over Victor Postol. And he has established himself, for the most part, as the #1 fighter in the 140-pound light welterweight or super lightweight division, however they're calling it these days, or whatever they're calling it these days. He's kind of running out of opponents now at that weight class. Who else is there for him to fight? Adrian Broner? I mean, we don't know what's really going on with Broner these days. Would he fight a Terence Crawford at 140? Manny Pacquiao, would he come down to 140? I mean, it didn't seem like he wanted it. So it could be a situation now where Terence Crawford is running out of opponents and he may want to consider moving up. There may be some people who are actually putting pressure on Terence Crawford to move up. That seems the way these days with a lot of boxing fans. Although you look at the Golovkin situation, there's a whole heap of people that want to make excuses why he shouldn't move up. And then there's other people saying that he needs to move up right now because of lack of competition. You know, however you want to see that situation, will it be the same with Terence Crawford? Will we get a divided boxing public where half of the people want to see him move up and say he should move up if he's that good, and the other half saying, no, let him stay where he is? I've always said, and I have to reiterate this, I've always said that I've got no problem at all with a fighter deciding to campaign in one weight class for his entire career. I've got no problem with that. The only 2 times I've had an issue with it are because of things that the fighters have actually said, right? And we're not talking about staying in one weight class here, but let me just explain myself. First of all, you got Golovkin, who through his team challenged everybody from 154 to 168. And then as soon as 168 Andre Ward comes knocking, all of a sudden Golovkin is talking about catch weights. And yes, his promoter Tom Laughlin was talking about catch weights. Yeah, so I had a problem with it there. Otherwise, if Golovkin's team hadn't issued that challenge, I wouldn't have no problem with Golovkin staying at middleweight for his whole career. Marvin Hagler did it. So what's the problem? Yeah, so that was my only issue. And the other time I had a bit of an issue with somebody in terms of not moving up in weights and not fighting this guy or that guy, it was Floyd Mayweather. Because Mayweather was going around proclaiming himself to be the greatest fighter of all time. Well, if you're going to call yourself the greatest fighter of all time, then you're going to have to do a bit better than fighting Canelo at a catchweight after you've spent half of your career criticizing and ridiculing other people for doing catchweights. Yeah? For draining opponents. You can't be calling yourself TBE, ridiculing other people for draining opponents, and then you go and do the same thing yourself. When you're calling yourself TBE, you have to be willing to go up and take risks, genuine risks, not catchweight risks. Yeah, when you're making that type of bold claim, it requires bold evidence. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. That's what I'll say on that issue. So we'll see what happens there with Terence Crawford. I think one of the other reasons why fighters actually do move up through the weights is not really to do with any type of pressure from the fans, but it's more monetary. It's more that they want to seek out the next big payday. And quite often, staying in your own weight division, you're not going to get the next big payday. You have to seek out the superstars from other weight divisions. That's how you get paid. There's only but so many superstars in one division. Unless you're very lucky when you get multiple stars in a certain division. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. As far as the fight itself, Terence Crawford, John Molina. John Molina is very strong. He's a big guy, as we know. He's like 5'10", so he's taller than Terence Crawford, but he's no taller than Victor Postol was, and we saw that Crawford was able to deal with Postol. I just think Molina's too slow. Don't get it twisted. Molina did actually a pretty good job against Provodnikov. I didn't expect him to have that type of back foot game on him, and that type of, I mean, it's not difficult from a skill point of view to be able to outbox somebody as rudimentary as Provodnikov, but still, I'd never seen Molina box the way he did against Provodnikov. But nonetheless, I don't care what type of tactics he tries to come up with against Terence Crawford. He's not going to outbox him. So he's going to have to try and go in there and go for the KO. That's the only way he's going to win that fight. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of it. Terence Crawford versus John Molina. How do you see it going? And would you be happy to see Terence Crawford stay at 140 and clean out that division, fight the likes of Broner and everybody else who's there? Ricky Burns is there, isn't he? I mean, do we really want to see a Crawford-Burns rematch? There's not really much else out there at 140 for Terence Crawford. He took out the other guy, the other top name, who was being highly touted in Victor Postal. And after that, it's like, there's not really much left there. It's not the strongest division, to be fair. You know, it's like Golovkin at middleweight. Neither guy are in a particularly strong division, and that's why they might have to start looking outside of the division. I mean, Golovkin's been looking outside the division for a long time. He was already talking about Mayweather and Pacquiao and this, that, and the other, and obviously he's just fought Kell Brook. So maybe Terence Crawford's going to start doing the same. Maybe he's going to start looking at Lomachenko or looking at the guys in the weight division above, or, you know, God knows. So we'll see. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel. It's your boy Hatman. I'm out.